Welcome to Inside City Hall. I'm your host, Mayor Seymore, and today our guests are Community Service Director Jay Brimhall and President of the Shola Library Friends, Mary Ellen Van Canneyt. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Glad to have you. Jay, thank you for being here today. We're going to talk a little bit about, a lot of people don't know, Mary Ellen, what you're involved with and how the Friends of the Library has been a great success and a great asset for the city of Shola. Why don't you just kind of share with us a little bit about what you do, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how people can get involved.
Okay. What many people may not be aware of is that the Friends of the Library is more of a national organization. Most libraries have a volunteer group of people who sell used books, who have fundraisers of all different kinds in an effort to help the library in the ways the budget cannot. So every department's budget is limited, but the Friends' main goal is to promote literacy, and that can be in any form that is even loosely related to literacy, as long as the function is to support the local library. So we are a tax-exempt organization. We always accept funding we've received from JCPenney, we've received from Ross Dress for Less, different organizations. I believe even Walmart has given us some of their community service funding out of their budgets, and it's greatly helpful because we raise most of our money through our used bookstore, which here is called the Garden of Reading, and the G is dropped for some reason with a little apostrophe on the end. Way back when, they thought that was a good idea. But when our books are only 25 cents, 50 cents, $1, magazines for a dime, we sell a lot to raise the money to help the library, and not only the library, but Sholo TV. That when we moved across the building, across the street, when this building was new, the architect never considered a metal roof and what that would impact the taping of any shows. And so during rainstorms and hailstorms, they couldn't tape. And they came to us and asked for special funding. We paid for the insulation of the roof so that taping could continue. We purchased the big wall clock. We purchased the film that covers the west side windows, so when the sun comes in, it isn't overheating that section of the library. We bought the furniture that is outside the coffee shop area for the comfort of the patrons to sit and work on their computers, on the website, do whatever they need to do with the coffee shop right there. We have bought the end pieces of the bookshelves that when we moved across the street, those bookshelves were broken up into smaller units. Therefore, we needed end caps. I can't begin to tell you the number of things that we have provided to make it a welcoming, comfortable, up-to-date facility. Practically everything in the computer lab we've purchased, from the whiteboard to the new printers to the computers. I mean, I can't begin to tell you through the years the things that our sale of used books has been able to provide for the library.
Now, is it just the sale of your used books that you've been able to raise this money, or there have been some other donations and things as well? You mentioned JCPenney and some of the other places there, but has there been some personal donations?
Yes, we've had the donation, a very large donation from a family where both of the parents passed very close together in time. And they used all of their donations. Every bench that you see outside the library or inside in the front hallway was paid for with their donation money, because there was no place to sit and wait. You know, I was
Right.
waiting one time for a pickup and I had to stand in the lobby. So we paid for those benches through a private donation through a family memorial.
Now, is there, how do you get involved with Friends of the Library? I mean, how big of an organization of people do we currently have, say, that are, working with you and helping you?
Right now, our membership is down. We have approximately 10 active people. We're in a reorganization phase right now, and we're repricing the books in the library. We're having a meeting actually tomorrow to simplify pricing and so on. We need help. We need people who are willing to come in and commit to an hour or more on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, so that I can see what coverage we have. We need people who simply will go into the back room and come out and shelve and keep our bookshelves full, because it's turnover that raises the money, not the high price of the item. So we are always looking for help, and anyone can call the library main number, talk to any of the employees. They know they can give my first name, Mary Ellen, and my phone number. People can leave a message, and I'm in the process of organizing just volunteers who will shelve. They have to do nothing else but know the alphabet and be able to shelve books.
Now, how old are these books? I mean, they're books that have recycled from, our regular circulatory in the library. And so, or maybe somebody has made donations just to the library, and we either have a copy or something, but how do you keep the volume up that you have to be able to sell as many as you are?
Lisa Lewis, the director, is currently going through all the books on the library shelves. Any nonfiction that has not been checked out in the last 5 years, she is gleaning from the shelves and giving to us to sell. Any fiction that has not been checked out in the last 3 years, she is gleaning from the shelves and giving to us to sell. Many people, when they clean their summer homes for the fall, when they're bringing up, their supplies from the winter, wherever they spent it in warmer country, they bring up and we get boxes of books of donations. And depending on the interest level, depending on the age or the condition of the book, we either put it on sale with our shelved books that are by category, mystery, science fiction, children's, whatever, or it can go on the 10-cent shelf where we think it'll move rather rapidly, and things that don't sell there go to the free shelf. And then eventually that's gleaned and moved on, because we're still looking for turnover. But we have boxes of books that we need to go through, but we always need donations. We take DVDs, we take CDs, we take old VCRs, VCR recordings, obviously. We take children's books, we take cookbooks, we take magazines from any genre you can imagine. I just noticed there's a whole aviation section of magazines that are out in the lobby right now. There's always somebody else who's interested, and at 10 cents a magazine, people will walk out with, a 2-year collection.
That's great. So it's important to volunteer and to come and to be part of the community that way. I know one of the things that you guys did a few years back or even beautification. You planted flowers, you made things look prettier, nicer around City Hall, around the library, and
Yes.
That's great. Jay, we got just a few questions for you coming up here. We've got our Martin Luther King Day of Service. That's always been a great day for the city, for people to come out, get involved, work on their suntan, work a little bit on getting to know some people that they might not know as well. Share with us when we are going to have that this year.
Yeah, this year's project is going to be held on May 13th. We're going to meet at 9 a.m. at the old pavilion in City Park. And we're going to have a project ready for them. You want me to get into the details of what that is?
What are we going to be doing?
Well, there's a lot to do in the park. Lots of trees means lots of pine needles and stuff, but we're going to do something special this year. We've been in contact with some folks at the dog park, and anybody who knows that dog park, there are always dogs, there are always people utilizing that dog park. And we've kind of come to just a conclusion on what a good project would be, what we're going to do is actually going to stake out kind of a trail inside the fence, and we're going to spread rock. We're going to order some decomposed granite or some other kind of media, and we're going to spread it all around so we have not a circular track, but a circuit inside the dog park so people can do laps inside. And we really need people who volunteer this year to bring wheelbarrows and rakes and shovels, because we're going to have a lot of people doing that sort of labor inside. And we don't have a lot of wheelbarrows that we use. We've got just a handful. So if we can have people, maybe every 5 people bring a wheelbarrow or something, that would be great. And we'll have people spreading, filling wheelbarrows. It will be a wonderful chain gang and get that done. There are some other beautification things that we're going to do inside the park if there are too many people who show up to work inside of the dog park, which we want. Don't be concerned that there are too many. We can always find good projects for our volunteers, but we appreciate our volunteers who come out. A lot of the same families come out, and it's neat to see moms and dads bring out the kids and instill that important sense of volunteerism in the kids. They grow up learning it. And this is one of the staples in our community that helps parents teach kids that principle, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing for a kid to learn, to take pride in their park and in their community. And we'll even give them lunch. We're going to have a lunch provided for every volunteer. So come on out on May 13th at 9 a.m. at the city park at the old pavilion. And we're going to have a wonderful day. We hope that the weather cooperates with us. I think the last year it was wonderful, but the year before it snowed that morning. We were worried about attendance, but people came out, and it was a great project. They always are, and so we're looking forward to this year's too.
That's great. It's great. Well, if I bring my wheelbarrow, you'll operate it though, right?
I will absolutely operate it. Make sure it's got some extension arms for guys who are a little taller.
Tall
right?
guys, that way it doesn't do one of these.
Helpful.
Here. That's great. So that's a fantastic project that we have. There's so many more things we can do with city when you get a lot of people putting in some of those hours. It's amazing what 100 hours of work can do at a city park, or 500 hours. It's the more people, it's really fun. It's fun to get involved with some of the people. So those are some things. If somebody's looking for a project to do, they can always give you a call and be part of the Friends of the Library, or they can come out and do service work on the day of service that we have. And we appreciate what you both are doing here to instill volunteerism in our community. And we can't thank you enough, Mary Ellen, for the wonderful things that you and your organization has done to make our library the success that it is. People have no idea really how involved you are and how involved this library is to our community. It's been a great asset. So thank you very much. It's been great having you today. Thank you. We're going to take a short break. It's just talk, okay? We're going to take a short break and come back and talk with Jay about Parks and Recreation. Thanks. Welcome back inside City Hall. Now we have Jay Brimhall again to talk with us about our Parks and Recreation. Jay, great having you back here. Share with us a little bit about our parks and recreation. Summertime, it's exciting to get started. We have great ball fields. You guys have worked hard through this past winter to put some fertilizer down, I know, in the fall, and to get things. Parks are looking better this year, starting off the year and everything. But what are we working with? We're working with a special group here with ASU. Share with us a little bit about what they're doing.
Certainly. My predecessor, Joel Weeks, reached out to Arizona State University, their engineering school. And what they do, they have a kind of a subgroup that meets throughout the year, and they work on special projects for communities. And it's called the EPICS group. Hopefully I can get what EPICS means. That's Engineering Projects in Community Service, EPICS. That's what they do, and we've worked with them on 2 projects now since I've been the Community Services Director, and we've gotten those wrapped up. They're in the process of selecting a third. We gave them some options. There are lots of areas in the city of Cholo, inside our city limits, that we have just kind of tentative plans to develop, but we'd like to get outside engineering perspectives on perhaps what we can do with certain pieces of land. And so they're in the middle of choosing a project for this semester. I just wanted to mention real quick that those kids are very intelligent, very wise beyond their years, and I don't know if I've worked with a group of kids that I call them kids. They're young adults. A group of young adults that are smarter and sharper and ask better questions than these kids from Arizona State University. And I'm happy to be in a position to work with them, and they really love Cholo. All of the ones who've come up here and visited, a couple of them, many of them are from out of the state, but a couple of them are in-state kids, and when they come here, they may or may not have been here, and they fall in love with it. I make it a point to take them out to eat, right, at local restaurants, and show them all just kind of what the city does, what the Parks and Rec guys do in the maintenance, and what our recreation group does with the events that we put on at Senior Field, like the barbecue. And I talk those events up so that hopefully they come back and can really enjoy the city, and they have. And one has taken me up on an offer to go hunting with them during hunting season. And it's just been really fun. It's a wonderful relationship that we have with them, and we want to continue that relationship into the future.
That's great. You know, they help design some of our parks' future expansion. What are some of the things that they have done? One of the projects that you've been involved that's been completed with what they have helped us with?
Certainly. Again, we talked a little bit about the dog park in the segment before, and how that's part of the dog park itself is part of a larger system of that city park, which is a big over 50-acre area. They put a master plan together for the city park, and it's really focuses on parking and safety and more amenities and more better developed amenities for the community. The parking is something that we're really focusing on, and we do little things here and there. But we think that that's a really good template for us to work with. Obviously, what those kids gave us, we filtered it through our Parks and Rec Advisory Committee. And since those folks know the area a little better and can, talk with more people, and they go there very often, use the trail system, use the ball fields, use all of the amenities that exist in that park, they're able to kind of just help the recommendations from this EPICS group conform more to what the public would like to see happen in that park, and would make it an even better place. It's a wonderful place, but an even better place for the community.
Oh, that's fantastic. Some of the other things we have is with summer, it's always full of sports that we have. The city of Sholos works real hard to have tournaments and different activities here. What are some of the things that you're doing to make the sports opportunity bigger, better, and also to help our youth stay engaged and have activities?
Certainly. Well, the first part of your question, we are seeking out tournaments and that sort of thing to bring people into our community, and also have our community engage in those same tournament opportunities. And we've got one that we're working on right now for this upcoming summer that we're pretty excited about. So we're constantly looking for opportunities to develop our marketability, I guess you could say, to bring tournaments here, because honestly, in the summertime, I wouldn't want to be very many other places in the state rather than Cholo. This is wonderful. It's one of the reasons we live here, because it's just beautiful in the summertime, and the winters are pretty mild. So we're working on developing better infrastructure. Like you said, our fields look unbelievable for this time of year. Our parks and facilities maintenance crew's done a wonderful job in making sure that we are utilizing the wonderful winter weather that we've had this last winter, and kind of capitalizing on that. If you look at Senior Field right now, it doesn't look like it ever turned off. There was no warming up period. It was just green instantly.
Right.
So it looks wonderful. So we have the amenities. It's just a question of putting the pieces together, and our group is currently working on doing that. The second part of your question, Mayor, had to do with our young people and what we are doing for them to have more fun and to learn the sports that they choose to participate in. Recently, we've been in discussions with leaders at the high school, and what we're trying to do is kind of fuse together their efforts to have winning opportunities for the high school kids, and hoping that the coaches and the players can help the coaches and players in the leagues that we have, and there can be a little bit more outreach from them and us so that we can teach those young people in the programs that we offer, the basketball and the Start Smart program that we have, so that we're teaching those fundamentals so that when they get to high school and junior high, those coaches have a little bit easier of a job. They can teach the X's and O's and start teaching the finer points of the game, so that they can be more successful. They can work on those the hard skills are already done, the soft skills, and really rounding the corners on those sharp edges, and making those athletes successful, help get more championships, right?
That's great. What are we doing for the seniors here as far as activities? How's pickleball coming up?
Pickleball is always a topic of conversation. This time of year, we're about ready to go into our summer schedule for pickleball. It's going to be popular. We've been in meetings all throughout the winter, and even into last fall about this upcoming pickleball season, and for plans to expand our pickleball facilities. And we're working on several things. Again, they're not quite as formalized as they're just kind of ideas at this point, but there is a solid plan moving forward to hopefully be able to provide more facilities for pickleball, because it's a growing sport. We don't see it attenuating or waning or getting smaller. We just see it getting bigger. It's highly competitive, but the appeal is very large. Anybody can play. I find it kind of funny, the more seasoned citizens that we have, they love seeing new people come in, but when a younger group comes in, they're like, oh, we're in for it now. But it's good. I mean, that's how you grow pickleball.
Right.
And they understand that. And it's a very proactive group. They're extremely passionate. And that passion comes with a lot of good and a lot of things that we can harness, hopefully, to move pickleball forward into the next 10 years or so when we have an expanded facility to do that.
No, that's fantastic. We just appreciate the citizens in our community and all aspects of our parks and recreations. We have a swimming pool. My kids come up from the valley, and one of the places they want to go is to the pool. And just different things that we have going. Our trail systems, our parks, it is something that allows people to get out. I think what we have going on down at the Frontier Field, I know there's a lot of great plans coming up in the future that we have. We've got a committee that we have working with our Parks and Recreation of citizens, so they're giving input, and we're just going to be appointing a few new people on that committee here in a week or so. And so it's just neat to see the public getting involved, coming out, but it's still volunteering and making part of what we can do to keep our community nice.
Absolutely. If I can add one thing, Mayor,
Sure.
We have a wonderful amount of projects for prospective Eagle Scout candidates.
Right.
We just had 2 happen in our city this last weekend. I participated in one. So there are lots of opportunities. We've identified a lot of different projects. So if there's anybody listening to this, come on out. We have a project for you. Just come talk with me, and we'll get you set up.
That's right. Give Jay a call, get that Eagle project.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, Jay, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you,
Appreciate it. Thank you for joining us on Inside City Hall today, and we hope you have a fantastic day.